crafty, to show compassion toward my enemies, even though it's announcements such as, you know what this means, KTNG Morning Show. You like the swinging chaw, right? And I have a gun. Yeah, I got a gun. Well, I don't have any caps for it, but it'll work and whatnot. In the house and so forth is DJ Suckerman Flash Drive. He saved every one of us. Okay, cool. Anyway, welcome to the KTNG Morning Show, and I am your host with the most. That's right, from the east to the west to the midwest to the south. All of that. And I am coming back. That's right. And if you let me speak, I am the freak on the peak, and I will educate your whole week. That's right. So this way, plenty of chances to see what's going on. But while we do the live thing and everything, and then we switch over to the, the audio part of it, so that way you guys get to see what's going on. So needless to say, it is about 30-some odd degrees today. It is going to be a hot one. Let's see, snow's on top of the mountains. Of course, it represents the 1% of the nation. And come on, if anything, we are doing our thing. I believe we are doing our thing. And we are going to go to our first series of stories here, which actually don't make sense at all. So besides the cheeseburger, I don't know what happened. It's like right after the bombing, Cheeseburger flooded Facebook with, "Oh, we did it. Oh, we did it. I told you we are strong, we are powerful, and more importantly, we are the rulers of the world." Really? The only thing that's ruling right now is privilege, and that interrupts the entire story because all of it is still going on while into the United States, and therefore make sure that you pay an arm and a leg for them. An inclusion white people who do not. Okay, all right, and confronted the employees behind the register. The original incident occurred on Thursday when Starbucks employees called 911 because two black men were arrived. Police handcuffed the men and escorted them out of the shop. Philadelphia Police Commissioner with everything. That's community news, people. That's community news. She was slightly nervous when the police officers entered the coffee shop, but she was then as shocked as two men when they weren't purchasing anything. So Sahin said the two men said that this is a Starbucks. Since when are people asked to leave a Starbucks? That's one of the reasons she felt compelled to approach the employee who called 911. Call was made, and that the two men were arrested. He said the company planned to invest, never intended for those men to be arrested, and this you get a vacation, right? Right. So therefore, created to a bad outcome. The basis for the call to the Philadelphia Police Department was how far this goes back. Now, Sahini, meanwhile, says she was overwhelmed by the support she with her and then walked out of Starbucks with her. They helped bring attention to the injustice of the situation. The injustice of every situation that involves a black man involves what? Death. You're a target on my back the minute I step out the door. The black man got to be, when are we going to learn to stand up by ourselves? Okay? When are we going to organize? When are we enough? Me. It's in the rap, that's in the crap music that you got talking about. This garbage coming out my mouth. Okay? Over, guys. It's over. For you rap artists out there, you can sit up and blab all damn day, but to wake up your people, ooh, I know, I bit that off of KRS-One. Anyway, this has been like reluctancy for justice to ever appear in a situation where black people have been crying out for days on end. Okay, come on. If we were to get reparations today, most of you, and I say 80% idiots, are going to spend that money like there's no tomorrow. Only to be rammed 120 some odd years of reparations. Yes, we can sit up and holler all that all the game. Okay? But you know what kind of reparations we're getting right now, people? Social Security, welfare, food stamps, job opportunities, and social economic segregation consistently balance each other. to a point where we're not living as healthy as we should. We are not souls. So if we're going to continue to be the welcome mat for getting shot and everything else and so forth, I think it's time for us to start standing up, people. And if we're going to mess that up, then we're really doing ourselves a disservice. So if any intellectual properties of health are concerned, and why is that? Because there are no opportunities. Leave me. Why is Mumia Abu-Jamal still in prison? The opiate crisis is basically a United States thing. But when you have decided that as one reason to build a great border wall, which needs to, like, how much is actually being grown? Or how much of it is, all right, you guys are like, I mean, come on. What's the vast majority of that 90% we have the money to fly planes into Mexico? Black people and brown people can't walk that far. Okay? No. These are basically tipped over that welfare thing. So now these new initiatives emerged from several high-level meetings between Mexican and U.S. officials last year, as well as a trip in July by then Homeland Security Chief John F. Kelly. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Oh my God. All right, hang on, people. We got us a serious emergency going on here. All right, and I hate to do this, but unfortunately, this is why we have the fund drive, because my plugs are not working. Oh. All right, is that helping? Is that helping? Oh, crap. All right, technical problems, people. This is why we have this. All right, this is why we have this issue. All right, how about that? All right. What do we got? Are we in? Can't run. Can't run a station like this, people. This is why we have the fund drive. Your support does help. I mean, good grief. We're only asking for $1,000 by the end of the month. Is that so hard? I need just 200 people with $5 to do this. But we're in the middle of the morning show, so I will get to the pitching part later. All right. Now, in continuance of that, as they said, the United States has begun to supply Mexico authorities with drones and geolocation technology, and is funding the studies to pinpoint how much poppy is being planted and how much heroin is being produced. I mean, come on. Right about now, Richard Pryor is probably like laughing at us. But the new initiatives emerged from several last year, as well as a trip by John F. Kelly. That kind of security operation. Come on, we all know he's. What did Mark Zuckerberg do? He went to the congressional hearings, and then all of a sudden, already out of it. Ew, messy. Anyway, stamping of drugs. The DEA said that their report last year, Mexico supplies 93% of all heroin consumed in the United States, up from half. The DEA also reported that production more than tripled in Mexico but there is no consensus on the estimates, particularly Mexican military officials deny that poppy production has tripled and say they have increased eradication efforts, deploying more than 20,000 soldiers on the ground or aerial missions. The troops deployed about 71,000 acres. They destroyed 71,000 acres last year and are on pace this year to surpass. There are several reasons for the desperate assessments. Poppy, okay? It can also be interspersed with other crops such as peach. Intermittent photography might miss certain fields. Quote says, and the co-author of a forthcoming study on Mexican and Colombian poppy production, he goes around the figures. Of course, there are. The FDA's got a whole freaking bed and everything else and so forth to get people off of heroin. Equally challenging, Colombian poppy, given that Mexican drug traffickers, in some cases, because that's fun. And besides, it gives it a more colorful example of brain every time you read the newspaper, or hear the news for that matter. And of course, needless to say, somebody from Minnesota was trying to get in contact with me, but unfortunately, when Mexico first adopted Colombian recipes, but said laboratory DEA scientists can now determine a sample's variety level pain. So therefore, in the past year, U.S. officials have focused on Until 2016, Mexico did not provide verifiable statistics on the brown people. It's on the consumer end, which are white people, who have the ability, the privilege, and the elite status of actually affording to fly a very, very disturbing figure. You don't believe me? Look it up. Poppy was being grown. This summer, Mexico and the UN agency are expected to publish an updated security agencies too much access. That has made it hard for the United States Office of National Drug Control Policy during the George Bush administration. Behind them, trying to make them, trying to make a mess of crap. In fact, I believe something on the order of about 90% of the poppies that were cultivation were they eradicated. By contrast, I think Afghanistan, financial, usually it's religious, okay? But as far as ideology is concerned, there's most of the reason why we have coups in this country, or we have coups going, all over the world, just so we can fit a democratic situation. We can fit the ideology of democracy in a lot of the places that we go to, or basically have policed at this moment. Right? The DEA has added staff in Mexico to work on the opioid problem. Okay. A U.S. law enforcement official also said Mexican authorities appear to be doing their efforts to combat it. And, quote unquote, another blank official says that they have definitely seen an increase in poppy field seizure. Others, however, remain skeptical that Mexican authorities will do much more to curb opium poppy production. Okay, so let me ask, did El Chapo escape again? I mean, come on, it's a possibility. I mean, the man's a millionaire. He's a billionaire. Okay, and he has money. The mattress is full of it. So no matter how much money we pump into that, they're still going to want to do. Okay, they might take all that people here, especially in the black communities. Yes, they do. You don't believe me? Okay, and for the life of it, there are technology. Now, security experts in both countries question whether the U.S. government spent decades discouraging the flow of cocaine from Colombia. Coca is again cultivated there at record levels. Probably the most addictive damn thing on the planet is slave labor sugar. Child slave labor sugar. Refine, we burn. Refine, we burn. Contact high. Refine, we burn. Refine, we burn. Power over everything. But his lawyers and his concession men and his minions point out all of his powers, all of his executive powers, and he invokes every last one of them. And you know what? He's had success doing so. I mean, look at half of his staff already has been gone. Come on, people. Y'all know what the hell's going on here. It's just, come on. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. Why are we following a dumbass? That's all, come on. If anything, if there's anything, we are reluctant to admit the fact that we have a complete idiot. I mean, if 18% of the population is always out there saying that there's more to it than anything else, then guess what? Notably, brown. Lack of opportunity. Why would these people be growing poppy? And besides, it's legal. Corruption is legal. It really is. It's a legal act. Knowing the law. And if you know the law and you know your rights, you're not going to, at least can't stop you. Okay? Remember, if the freaking country. Think about it, people. Think about it. Was it that the entire thing was staged? All right? You are a bunch of idiots listening to idiots and invoking stuff. Loser! There you go. So let's find out about Russian diplomats and suspected spies. The United States, they explained, okay, with Cheeseburger here, I don't think Cheeseburger will sit there and say, we can try the good countries like Russia and a lot of other Scandinavian countries. We don't need all these Muslims here and people of color and coming from out of these shithole countries. Yeah, okay, so you can already condemn people of color. As a president, you already condemn people of color, but you rather use them as fodder. Okay? You rather use them as fodder or experiment one or the other, as long as they're doing their job for you and you pay them pretty decent. Okay? Just by 20 cents over minimum wage. Okay? That's how you like to keep it. Economic slavery going hand in hand with poverty. And you're causing oh God, what? post-traumatic stress disorder in many of the communities. You know, how about this? Why doesn't your cheeseburger do if Russia has collusion with, then it would make sense for him to throw out the possibility of Iraq. Okay, it is the Middle East. The Middle East is on the continent of Africa, which makes, think about it, people. Think about it. Since the days of Jimmy Carter, okay, are we that much of a bully? The administration practices between the UN, the NATO, and the United States? Vladimir Putin. Oh, let's get rid of the spying point in the administration's stance, according to the senior administration officials. There have been mass explosions, and for the first time, a presidential tweet that criticized Putin by name for, yes, indeed. The reason being is because, one, we are blinding ourselves to the distractions that are happening. UKC! Are we there? Happened to right? That's right. The man who remembers is going to be out here. He's going to Denver later on this afternoon and whatnot because I got to pick up some people. But, you know, it's Kamala Mason. Good morning. Faith Yuskel. Good morning. Ishmael Songs. Good morning. UFO Cha-Cha. Good morning. Tahoma Aksan. Kenny King, good morning. And Rodney Perez, New York White, good morning, dude. Good morning. Now, that's my man. That's my boy right there and shit, man. Cheetah Girls. I'm serious. But good morning to Cheetah Girls, my God. I don't know where this stuff is coming from. Anyway, I guess it's a good thing. Kenny Medina, good morning. Dressy, who else we got? Rakesh Brown, good morning. Let's see. Jason Swartz, good morning. Alice Scott, good morning. Lyrical L. Ray, good morning. Let's see. Who else we got here? Shakim Zulu. Shakim Zulu King Shabazz, good morning. Good morning. Lisa Artando, where are you? Good morning. Morning. Oh my goodness. Yes, Scott Rod Jr., I see you. Barnett Blackskin, good morning. And let's see. Good morning. Jen Hibbert, good morning. Gabe Rosales, good morning. Shaquana Mason, good morning. I guess she's like, you know, understanding the reasons behind the collusion and where basically of course, needless to say, of you know, blowing things out of proportion. If not, we basically, you know, as Americans, we have to take responsibility because in his formation, he always thought it was too much. They were just oil days since the explosions, the exodus of most of his administration. Burgers continue to take tough new actions to punish Russia. Early the administration sanctioned 17 senior Russian officials and 7 oligarchs, and they've already disabled the drones. They had technology to disable the drones. They had technology to... So I don't believe that crap that they're broke. Come up and slap the crap out of you. This would be the policy unless cheeseburgers... Yes, of course, one ambassador says he would do it any damn way. That means there's a moment to get your ass knocked the heck out, right? So, a stupid reason... There were people who basically want this idiot to deal, but guess what? It's going to happen. It's going to. You're the biggest liar sitting in the White House, or this quote unquote special place. All right, since you don't know what the name of the White House is. Wow, brilliant, freaking brilliant. I'm almost astounded in sheer laughter that this man can actually form sentences, let alone tweet. I mean, does he have his son tweeting for him or something? I'm asking. I'm asking. Join the conversation, people. You know, y'all know you know what's going on. You know what's going on. Okay? You can do this on a day-to-day basis. This man has not done anything significant for the people of this country whatsoever. Farmers are begging for, like, you know, farmers are going to get reamed. You farmers in this country are going to get reamed significantly harder. Okay? The taxes that you guys have just filled out on the 15th, yeah, there's a whole bunch of bumps in them damn things. Trust me, you will see that in the year coming. Don't want to believe me? Look it up. Because if I look it up, I'm going to find the foul of it. Yeah. Okay? So now that we have all these other distractions out of there, let's focus on the one thing that has caused a major destruction, a major disaster in distraction altogether. Distraction, aversion, you know, complete complete disillusion. And of course, my favorite, I wasn't there. Invisibility. No thing transparent. So let's begin this, find out why we do have these major crimes of humanity, against humanity, committed by the United States, and why we have not ever been to any particular trial to stand for it. I mean, if we were to do so, black people would have their reparations. They would. They would. We bring the United States to the federal, to the global court system and say against humanity committed by the United States, and this has been going on since the days of slavery. These people need to be paid. Do we need a world court to get our money? Obviously, because everybody else got theirs. The Jews got theirs. The Japanese got theirs. Everybody else that was not dark got theirs. Okay? And so when we have to make our reparations, then you set up and send cops to go kill us. Nice. Well, in Heavy.com's news, cheeseburger Syria attack. There are names and photos of bombing victims. All of them, needless to say, had nothing to do with any nerve gas agency whatsoever. And if they did, they moved the crap out of there and just stuck dummy guards out there. And yes, good, it won't blow up. But if it's a no, it'll blow up. I don't know. There's scant information on some media about the people killed in the cheeseburger airstrikes against Syrian airfields. Many of the American media have been virtually silent on this question, other than giving numbers of those who died. And the Syrian and Russian media are whipping out propaganda. I could never whip out propaganda. I just look for the truth on all of this crap. So who were the victims of the United States Syrian missile attack on Shariat Air Base? Despite the seeming lack of information in some corners about this question, names and photos are emerging from Syrian politicians, bloggers, and human rights groups. First, the numbers are in conflicting accounts. 6 Syrian soldiers were reported to have been killed on Friday's missile strike, which destroyed as much as 90% of the base. The New York Post reports that the airstrike almost completely destroyed an airbase and killed 4 Syrian soldiers. The Post reports that a general was killed in the attack, and it says it got its information from the British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. That general would appear to be a man named Khalil Issisa Ibrahim, based on accounts from Syrian politicians, bloggers, and other groups. Okay? The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights group wrote on its website on April 8th that the death toll at the airbase rose to 8, including 5 officers. The number of members of the reserve forces who were killed in the U.S. missile strikes that targeted the airbase dawn of Friday, the 7th of April 2017. And the death toll is expected to rise because there are some people in critical situations. The Telegraph added Syrian officials said 9 civilians, including 4 children, are also killed. We kill babies. Yes, and if you don't believe me, go to Planned Parenthood. They don't help you plan a parenthood. No, they don't have planned pregnancy. They don't plan a family. They plan for the systematic eradication of black people. All right. Comes from the Syrian Arab News Agency, which wrote 9 civilians, including 4 children, were killed in a U.S. missile attack on a military base and in nearby villages in the southeastern countryside of Homs province, which is where from Duma. Civil sources said, SANA, that 2 missiles used in the U.S. attack that hit Al-Shariat Air Base in the central region killed 5 civilians, including 3 children, in addition to causing huge material damage to the houses. Another U.S. missile fell in Al Hamra village, killing 4 civilians, including a child. Moreover, 7 civilians were injured as the missile struck houses in Al Manzoul village, 4 kilometers away from Al Shariat Air Base. So, civilians are collateral damage. They don't care about kids. What if those kids grew up and kept their revenge? Why do we perpetuate each generation to come over and find a way to commit acts of terror? Because we are killing their children, and if they have brothers and sisters, guess what? They are going to carry that mantle of vengeance. Do we not see what we're doing here? Asked by heavy weather, children or civilians were killed. The United States Pentagon PR office responded, quote unquote, the U.S. Tomahawk land attack missiles successfully launched by USS Porter and USS Roth hit all their intended targets. We are confident these missiles hit their targets and at the time have no indication that they caused any civilian casualties. You have no idea because you're away in a coward's position. You will not meet them on the ground, but you will bomb the crap. You will carpet bomb everything and so forth. So that way you create better hiding places for snipers to take out U.S. troops. Bravo, bravo. Idiocy strikes again. In a story on the same news site, the Syrian agency reported that the airstrike left 6 people martyred and a number of others injured and causing huge material damage. Russian media reported 14 deaths, including women and children, citing the governor of the region. The Independent, also a UK news outlet, also quoted Syrian state media, but said the source had downgraded the casualty estimates, reporting Syrian state media has claimed that the U.S. missile attack on a government killed 7 people, including 4 children. Why are children slowly coming up out of this? Why are children slowly coming out of this? If al-Assad had the audacity to move all of his chemical crap out of there and let these people hit these damn bases and whatnot, and when you go do the inspection, you will not find anything there, guess what? It makes us look like before there was ever a war. And because this is a coup attempt, okay, realize people, the first coup attempt was in the Bible. Judas, Jesus, look it up, all right? A member of the Syrian parliament identified 3 of the victims of the missile attack on Twitter, the most prominent of which is a brigadier general. Russian and Syrian pro-government bloggers have identified other soldiers they say were killed in the missile attack at the airbase. There were only a few people there. Where's the main body of the troop movement? DA, okay? WTF. At least I can say initials, I don't have to cuss. Here are the names. Sisa Ibrahim, okay? That's a Muslim name, so okay. Off of federal land that he moved them, and he has pictures with ISIS saying that we should use ISIS to go after Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein and everybody else that's not, particularly into our interest, our American interest. So when ISIS didn't get paid, guess what happened? Oh yeah, that's the reason why we wound up going after Osama bin Laden. Okay? ISIS was there to basically stop Russia from poppy fields, people. You don't believe me? Look it up. Okay? And you might be lucky if you even find that information. Now, some American officials have argued that Syria's Bashar al-Assad is using ISIS as an excuse to crack down on rebel fighting his regime. Who sent the ISIS in? The United States. Don't you see the freaking coup here at all? That dispute plus Russia's backing of al-Assad makes it all complicated. Makes it a complicated stew. If Russia is backing al-Assad and we're backing ISIS, but yet still we have the nerve to go up around and say, no, we're fighting ISIS. No. We're using ISIS because that is an American product that we made. We do this all the damn time. We go into foreign countries and say, your way of democracy sucks. We're going to show you how to do it our way. So this way we can come in and take your resources. We've been doing this shit since like what? Oh, excuse me. We've been doing this since 1945, people. In a statement issued right after the airstrike, said, the U.S. took extraordinary measures to avoid civilian casualties and to comply with the law of armed conflict. Whatever happened in the Geneva Code of Convention. I guess everybody just threw that little green book out the window. Every precaution was taken to execute the strike with minimal risk to personnel at the airfield. But you kill people, you kill kids, you kill women and children. The Pentagon said the strike was, quote-unquote, proportional response to Assad's heinous act. You want to know what's heinous? Our government not doing a damn thing about the deadly water that's existing in Michigan right now. What if Russia decided to do the exact same to the United States? Bomb Detroit because, bomb the corporations that are surrounding the water that is putting mercury, that is killing people, that's causing people to have cancer, birth defects every single day. And our country does nothing to it. You get what I'm saying, people? How can we justify an attack on a bunch of people, as Cheeseburger would say, in a regime that basically is, to my definition, a shithole country? His words, not mine. Okay? Because it's in where? Africa. You're bombing Africans. Okay? Do you not see or get this, people? Black culture is a very dangerous thing to this country. Very much is. And if you come from Africa, you're African. Doesn't matter. The Pentagon added that Russian forces, quote unquote, were notified in advance of the striking using the established deconflict. I've never heard of a deconfliction line. That's new. U.S. military planners took precautions to minimize risk to Russian and Syria personnel located at the airfield. Okay, so if the Russians are basically talking to Assad, don't you think Assad had moved all that stuff out of there by then? And when you guys go back and look at the footage of it and so forth, why are those buildings empty? There's no rubble. There's nothing. There's rubble. Yes, there is. My mistake. There is rubble. But there are no containers, no evidence of containers that held any of this poisonous gas or chemical or anything of that thing, anything of that nature, is there? Okay? Or maybe people haven't yet to discover that. I'm going to keep on this story and so forth and see where it goes. Okay, so Lieutenant Issa Muhammad Ali, he got Shabab blogger also posted saying that he was like at airbase, a way to move whatever equipment or storage items ahead of time before the airstrike. Don't you think we just wasted about a couple of $1 billion just on nothing? I mean, this is what you paid your taxes for yesterday, to make sure that $450 billion that we gave to the Pentagon gets used, right? So in order for that money to get used, we got to get rid of old stock. It's the same thing in retail, people. You overbuy a whole bunch of stuff, and then at the end of the year, you call it what? Black Friday. So obviously, this was definitely Black Air Base, chemical weapons. Horrific images of gassed victims have filled the media, including a father cradling his two deceased children. Those were the victims Cheeseburger said drove him to act. Them children of God. But yet still, he's going to call the entire African nation a shithole country. A shithole continent. According to the New York Times, Turkey says the nerve agent sarin was used in a chemical weapons attack, which the Telegraph says killed 86 people, including 30 children, in a province held. What kind of fluff do you think I'm falling for? Do we not see the reasons why al-Assad is basically doing this? It's real simple. He doesn't want democratic change, because if there's democratic change, that changes the whole regime, and the regime then becomes part of the democratic process that is trying to, illicitly trying to spread itself across the country, especially in the Middle East. Quite simply, they're trying to eradicate. Okay, so if Cheeseburger is calling them kids children of God, aren't we all children of God? Aren't black people children of God? You're so interested in killing black people, you'll do it on any continent, do it just to make a point. That's beautiful. That's really freaking beautiful. So Cheeseburger explained his bombing of the Syrian airfield on April 6th by saying that Bashar al-Assad, quote unquote, choked out the lives of helpless men, women, and children. How many men, women, and children have your police departments have killed in the United States? How many? Give me them numbers. All right. So Cheeseburger explained his bombing of the Syrian airfield, as something, we have smart new missiles, smarter than me. Okay, according to NBC News, the U.S. military at Cheeseburger's ordered fired 59 Tomahawk missiles in Shariat in Homs. Syria has alleged the chemical weapons were stored by terrorist groups. Who rapes and ravages and calls us savages, trains the criminal groups, terrorist groups, to overthrow a systematic regime so that way they can bring in democracy and take the resources. Come on, people, do you not? You're such suckers. They'll tell you anything. According to Shehabi, another person killed was a Syrian soldier named Faras Bakai. 6 My Committee sources, a non-profit organization named 6 My Committee, Syria's military on your support. All right, simple, real simple, real simple. And as soon as we drop bombs, their approval ratings right up. They do. So here it is. You have, oh my God, it is the halfway point that to bring you news in such a way, in such a format that allows you to think, have some fun with it and everything, because I'm going to crack some jokes 9 times out of 10. All right, that's all I do here is I crack jokes on the stupidity of the elitist of white America. Not the poor, not those who stand aside in solidarity of humanity, but just the elitist. There's a difference, because those elitists are the ones that are dragging this country into hell in a handbasket. And guess what? For the suckers who are following behind that jackass, trust me, I've seen lemmings. Also depressing is that he may be right about the Democrats, building a rogue gallery of surveillance state officials who have abused the host of left-leaning media outlets, including Salon, The Guardian, and The Huffington Post, for questioning cheeseburgers like an asset. Remember, I didn't say that. That was an asset. Tweeted his Clapper endorsement last year, quoting James Clapper, Senator Ron Whedon, Democrat of Oregon, whether the National Security Agency, there is a bin, as I call it, in Utah, that phone logs, okay, email data collected by the NSA, Burger and his B-movie gang of hangers on, hanger on. NBC's latest contributor hires, for example, is former Obama administration CIA director. Homie, his book is out. You better read it. One of the more melodramatic voices on Twitter, delivering stern lectures to his own popularity. Think about it, people. Brennan's more a damn thing for California. Brennan used the same "how dare they." Nothing could be further from the truth. He said at first, we wouldn't do that. I mean, just be honest. With applause from progressives during the upcoming book on the eve to condone jubilant patriotism in this shady American system. Not Slim Shady, but shady. Okay? 2015, the wealthiest 1% of the American population own more wealth than the other 99% combined. Crimes against humanity. America has officially killed about 1,000 civilians, of which 200 were children, using drone strikes. Crimes against humanity. American politicians from several nations signed a secret bill into law that gives corporations unprecedented legal power to manipulate market prices and sidestep laws that stand in the way of corporate profit. Crimes against humanity. America armed ISIS, who uses those weapons to commit crimes against humanity. This also gives the American industrial war complex justification to escalate war spending in the Middle East. Crimes against humanity. The Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, forced every American citizen to buy health insurance that has such high deductibles, it's basically useless. Anyone who can't or won't pay is fined. Crimes against humanity. The CIA released a report detailing torture at a U.S. military base, Guantanamo Bay, which is located in Cuba, so that it falls outside the jurisdiction of U.S. law. Crimes against humanity. Edward Snowden leaked classified documents that revealed America is secretly spying on its own citizens. The government labeled him a traitor instead of a whistleblower. Now Edward Snowden hides from American justice in Russia. Crimes against humanity. Bradley Manning, now Chelsea Manning, okay, leaked classified documents revealing America was committing war crimes in Iraq. The government labeled him a traitor instead of a whistleblower and locked him in solitary confinement. You will never hear from him again. He's in there for life. He's going to die without a death row sentence. Crimes against humanity. Congress attempted to pass the quote-unquote Stop Online Pirating Act, but failed to pass the bill after widespread public outcry. The bill would have allowed large corporations to control which websites the public had access to. Crimes against humanity. Thousands of protesters camped in the financial districts of major cities across America to protest how the wealthiest 1% of the population controls the government through lobbying and campaign financing. The police in each city brutally crushed the protest. Crimes against humanity. President Obama signed the Dodd-Frank Act law, which was supposed to limit unethical behavior by banks, but lobbyists influenced the wording of the bill to be essentially useless. Crimes against humanity. The Supreme Court decided that funding politician campaigns is protected as free speech, guaranteeing wealthy corporations have a legally protected avenue to bribe politicians. Crimes against humanity. The U.S. Air Force killed 90 civilians in Azabad, Afghanistan. Crimes against humanity. Banks that went bankrupt from committing fraud and other risky practices were bailed out by the government, and the bank's executives received lavish bonuses. Crimes against humanity. America officially has the largest prison population in the world, officially making it Orwellian to call America land of the free. A land of the free what? A land of the free ass whooping, a land of free killing, a land of incarceration rate, a land of poisoning your freaking people, a land of basically just destroying generations of children left and freaking right. All for the sake of profit. And you gladly give it up and then stick patriotism right on the back of it. I think you guys are doing just a marvelous job of being just complete stupid jackasses. Ta-da! If you don't believe it, people, look it up. It's there. Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. At the request of the Kuwaiti government, the American military defeated the Iraqi military, but President George Bush Sr. left Saddam in power, though because his administration knew that removing him would create a power vacuum that would destabilize the Middle East. In 2003, President George Bush Jr. invaded Iraq again to remove Saddam from power, under the pretense that Saddam's military possessed weapons of mass destruction that posed an imminent threat to America. This destabilized the Middle East, and over 100,000 people have died from the sectarian violence that followed later. And then it came to light that Americans knew Saddam didn't have any weapons of mass destruction, and the Bush administration knowingly lied about their justifications to go to war. So why do we have mental health problems now? Duh. Congress signed the Patriot Act into law, which eliminated the American public's right to privacy and gave the government broader powers to label anyone terrorist. Terrorist. Oh, no. See, you can label anyone a terrorist if they're a person of color. When it comes to white terrorists, there's no such thing but martyrs against the government, right? Bingo. Congress passed the No Child Left Behind Act, which was a slogan which reduced public education to an endless series of rote tests and sold out the education system to private testing companies, which means why do you have so many teachers striking? Why do you have so many children right now who can't even read at a 5th grade level and they're over the age of 20? Corrections Corps of America, a private prison company, went public and sells its stock on the stock market. It's the only game in town, people, that doesn't have a recession marker on it. Since then, it has spent millions of dollars lobbying Congress to keep drug laws tough in order to keep its prisons full. And what are they full of? President Bill Clinton signed the NAFTA into law, which was originally his predecessor, George Bush Sr. NAFTA allows American corporations to build sweatshops in South America that don't have to follow strict environmental laws. Global warming does not exist. Crimes against America, against humanity. America sold chemical weapons to Iraq that it knew would be used against Iran. Crimes against humanity. The CIA attempted to overthrow the Nicaraguan government and sold weapons to Iran to raise money to covertly fund Nicaraguan rebels. Crimes against humanity. USA helped overthrow the Turkish government. Crimes against humanity. President Nixon personally oversaw the overthrow of the Chilean government. Crimes against humanity. The U.S. Public Health Service studied African Americans with syphilis and denied them effective treatment to further study the progression of the disease. Crimes against humanity. Oh my God, this goes on, but I'm going to keep going with it, baby. Okay? The British military removed all the inhabitants of the island of Diego Garcia and gave the island to America to use as a military base, which is still in operation. Crimes against humanity. The U.S. National Guard shot 13 student protesters at Kent State University in Ohio. Crimes against humanity. The United States Navy created a false flag attack on one of their ships in the Gulf of Tonkin to justify going to war with Vietnam. Crimes against humanity. The DoD considered false flag attacks on American citizens to create support to invade Cuba. Crimes against humanity. The CIA attempted to overthrow the Cuban government, which wasn't democratically elected. It was created after local freedom fighters ousted the public government run by America. Crimes against humanity. The DoD sprayed multiple U.S. Navy ships with various chemicals and biological agents to test on sailors. Crimes against humanity. The USA helped overthrow the democratically elected government of the Congo. Crimes against humanity. The CIA overthrew the democratically elected government of Guatemala. Crimes against humanity. The CIA tested LSD and other drugs on unsuspecting civilians. MK Ultra. Crimes against humanity. The USA Army tested biological and chemical weapons on its troops. Crimes against humanity. CIA overthrew the democratically elected government in Iran. Crimes against humanity. The USA Army colluded with private chemical companies to perform medical experiments on American prisoners. Crimes against humanity. And who the majority in prison, people? American created come on. This is the reason why you have Luke Cage Power Man. If you go back and you look at the beginning of how Luke Cage was made, this is where Stan Lee got the information from. America created the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which exempts military personnel from being protected by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Crimes against humanity. The U.S. Navy sprayed bacteria over San Francisco to determine the viability of biological weapons. Crimes against humanity. America has its allies backed the creation of a country of Israel, which killed or displaced 700,000 Palestinians in its first year of existence. Since then, with American protection, Israel, a welfare state, has killed and displaced millions more. Those who remain in their homeland live in concentration camps-like conditions. Crimes against humanity. America firebombed and nuked Japan, killing over 200,000 civilians. Crimes against humanity. America sent warships to the island of Oahu, Hawaii. The Navy arrested the Queen of Hawaii and forced her to annex the Hawaiian Islands to America. Crimes against humanity. And you think we are such a great nation? We are going to be such a great nation in what? In what? Committing more heinous crimes against humanity? Really? This has been going on since 1898, people. We've never slowed down. And now, our crime against humanity is killing women and children in Syria and saying, oh, we're not the bad guys. That's just collateral damage. That's what happens when you kill your own people, per se. Let me ask you guys a question. Where did Al-Assad get the damn chemicals from? I'll tell you where he got them from. Chemicals are made basically, and this goes along on bath salts. All right, this goes along with bath salts. There are chemical companies, basically, in Scandinavian companies that sell it bulk to America. America knows it wants to basically just sit up and take over the Middle East because they're oil-rich deposits. They couldn't do South America because right now South America is a mess, right? Come on. Are we that dumb? And we are following somebody dumber. I mean, it's just like those movies. Dumb, dumber, dumberer, and dumberer. And the dumbest, first letter I, last letter T, impeachment. Obviously, we're not taking this impeachment process seriously. The Democrats are outnumbered 79 to 263. You figure it out. But yet still, a lot of the Republicans that are being supported by the NRA don't want to give up their positions. They love power. And as long as they love power, you, the individual, will be powerless. Unless we come together as a nation of people. Forget your economic statuses. Forget your culture. Come together as one human culture. And boot this jackass out. I mean, come on, people. It can't be that damn difficult. It can't. It can't. But you know something? It is kind of difficult because we're so latched on to the government provided. We are latched on like supplicators. Okay? Straight up. We are latched on like supplicators. And for the funny part of it, okay? For the funny part of it, we continue to play this victim role and hoping that Big Brother will take care of us. No! Big Brother will not take care of you, your kids, your children, or your seniors. You are all expendable, just like me. Yeah. Nice to lose. I tell you. Anyway, people, that is one piece and don't think. That is the one thing. That is the one thing, man. I love this guy, man. I shall not kill. It says so in the Quran. The 5 books is in, and when you read them, shit. In the Marine Corps. For all of us who are so forth, Marine Corps veterans and so forth, go back and look at Full Metal Jacket one more time. Because the guy that was the drill sergeant, give me a break. Man, I went through 12 weeks, Jack. I'm a little bit more stronger in resolve. I'm also a lot stronger up here. This is what we got to do, people. We got to improvise. If we can make America great, we don't need some jackass giving us a slogan who's going to take it and, have not done anything about that. We have discrepancies in economic and discrimination practices that are on the books for that. No. While we let the citizens of this country take it out on you. Exactly what we're up against. Hopefully, inspire solution.